festive season is here. Is the volume okay? Is it okay there? The festive season is here. And as you know, it's common to blow your hard-earned bonus, spoiling yourself and your loved ones. So we brought finance guru Nicolette Mashile, who is here to tell us how to avoid the overspending hangover. Thank you so much for coming through, Nicolette. So bonuses are a myth this time, aren't they? I mean, in the current conditions, not many people will receive them.
Yeah, look, I mean, at all times, bonuses are obviously at the discretion of the company, depending obviously on how your package was structured when you started working. But for most people, it's a discretion of the performance of the company. So we will see some people still get bonuses. I mean, I've worked with a couple of state-owned agencies that have gotten their bonuses earlier on in the year, right?
Yeah.
But there are those people that do get their bonus towards the end of the year, or they get what is called a 13th check. And yeah, it's quite scary because most people always spend their bonus before it's even in their bank account. So you're always worrying about, do you even give this person any type of financial coaching?
But isn't it the confluence of the factors that makes it easy to spend? That one, you've got a bit of time on your hands, you can travel, you can see family. You know, it's in the air, the spirit. You know, it's the season to give, and you know, and be merry, and a bit of cash coming in.
Yeah.
What should be foremost in your mind if you happen to get a bonus, if you happen to come into some extra cash ahead of this festive season?
Look, I always say to people, it's not new. The festive season is not new. It's not something that hits us by surprise, right? It's something that you know that is definitely coming. So I always say classify the festive season as your financial peak time. So know your off-peak time and your peak times. And the festive season is one of those where you're going to be spending. As you already said, we're all excited. The sun makes us spend. You know, we want to give. We want to give back. We want to spend time with our family. And sometimes that takes quite a lot of money. I always say, if you do know that money is going to be coming in, make sure that you plan for it. Because if you do not plan for it, you're not even going to know what actually happened to it, right? So it does go back to you having, and I don't call it a budget, because the moment you call it a budget, it's almost like you scare people. You do need to have what is called a spending plan. What am I going to be doing with this money? How am I going to be spending it? And also taking away that psychological thing that it feels as if it's free money.
So where do you start coming together, coming up with this spending plan?
Yeah.
What exactly do you do?
So I think the first thing you need to realize is that you do not plan for December in December or even in November.
It's too late now.
It's too late now. Remember also, your November salary essentially is for December.
Yeah.
And your December salary essentially is for January, right?
And
so
it comes in earlier in many instances.
And it comes in earlier in many instances. So I think you've got to know yourself. You've got to know what your financial blind spots are and what your financial budget leaks are. And that is really important, because once you realize those things, you then are able to make either provision for those things, or you decide to yourself that, you know what, I'm not going to fall into these gimmicky things of trying to save money, because that's what a lot of financial institutions tell us, right? They've got all these funny gimmicks, wrap your own presents, or don't give. Listen, people are going to do what they want to do. It's better to teach people to spend wisely, so track down your spending. At the end of November, sit down with your actual bank statement and look at what type of spending, create a core spending plan, knowing that these are the things I have to buy in December. Then you'll be able to start seeing, okay, this is how much core money I need, and this is actually going to be my frivolous kind of money.
This conversation, Nicolette, how important is it ahead of 2020 and the uncertainty of the situation that, given what we've seen this year, in as far as the economy is concerned, growth is really nothing to write home about. We're talking some 0.5% of GDP growth, unemployment peaking over 29%, the whole prospect of a further downgrade in as far as the ratings agencies are concerned. So what should we keep in mind in the broader environment in which we exist, even as we are Decembering, as they say? Look,
in South Africa, in our economy, tightening our belts has always been the standard. We've got to tighten our belts. We've got to find a way to get ahead of our money and our financial planning. And most of it is psychological, right? So I think that being in the environment, being the economy that we are currently in, it is very important to make sure that every other aspect of your life is taken care of, whether it is you making sure that you've got short-term insurance on what you cannot afford to lose, making sure that you've got those long-term insurance products in place, making sure that you're actually buying financial products also as effectively as possible. Because what I find, and I coach quite a lot of people, what I find is that when you've got money in surplus, a lot of us think we're doing well in managing our personal finances. You've just got a curse of having more money than the average person.
Lastly, Nicolette, before I let you go, the whole issue about the salary coming in a bit earlier has implications for responsibilities that people have on a month-to-month basis.
Definitely.
Do you find people sort of not honoring their debit orders, for example, and how risky is that?
Look, December is not different. South Africans do find some way of choosing which debit orders to actually honor, but I think it does get worse in December because also the retailers give you this impression that it's okay if you don't pay in December, but at the end of the day, interest rates are going to kick in, you're going to pay extra in interest. So I do think if there's one thing that you need to make sure you do, because it has huge implications on your credit rating and your credit score, is to make sure you honor all credit agreements.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely important. Thank you so much for coming through, Nicolette Mashile, in conversation with us, really trying to get us to do the adult thing and be responsible even as we spend in December.